All right, and welcome back to another Conquest Corner. For this particular one, I received this in the mail today. I had ordered it. It is technically the night of the 27th, so you'll see this on the 28th, which is technically a release day. What was actually interesting, so I mean, I'm in America. All their packages, whenever anything shipped from them, obviously comes out of Greece. It's always held by customs for a few hours to maybe a day, I guess, to make sure it's just nothing important. It's just a bunch of model figures. And then as of like last night, it said it was in Germany, and then it arrived on my doorstep today, which I was quite surprised by. I ordered this and a few other random things that I needed, like a dark cenotaph, because they're super great. But I wanted to unbox this, talk a little bit about it, and maybe even do a little bit of assembling while we have this. So, haven't actually cracked the plastic. It does say it's limited edition. I know this one apparently hasn't sold out, although I know the Sorcerer Kings one did. I honestly, I didn't order that one. I'm just not a big fan of it. It's a great model, don't get me wrong, but I tend to take my Bound to the Elements as a Raj, not a Sorcerer, and to me it looks like a Sorcerer. Very excited about this. Very excited by the little foxes covering it. I still think that fox there's using the bathroom, but still. So really happy to use this. I know at least most of the lists I've built, one of the ones I played, but other lists that I built have included a Kitsune, and I know that's something that I want. All right, so we get, for this one, taking a look at it, quite a few parts. One of the tails is separate. I like that. That seems to be the only one of those. So let's actually take a look at the model itself. So, taking a look at cards, obviously it has its base. Get that out of the way. For the cards, okay, keep in mind that the Bakatsu and the Oniyami, so depending on which ideal they have. A little surprised, maybe not surprised, it's a little bit of a minimalist nature for these. So for the food cards, now I'm not as well versed with some of this, so I'm not as good as knowing of why they look the way they do, but overall I do like the look of this card. I do like this one as well. They at least do say the names on them, so that helps. It's a lot nicer than the essentially block letter ones that I did, but I'm really curious now to see what the other designs end up looking like. But overall, so we have our two cards. I don't really see me using the Oniomi, but that's just me personally. So let's actually take a look. So it looks like we got one for her herself. All right. So a little bit of a slick feeling on this. Keep in mind with any resin, really, you should wash it, especially theirs as well. I've had some resins in the past that didn't need washing, but it's pretty rare. They usually do. So have her standing. I said if we put this back here so we can have an idea of what this model should end up looking like. See her rather reddish leg. I don't know if I'm going to quite paint it to that color, but very good looking model. I do have to say with their resins, they always do a really good job. I know it's a little bit more of a premium product, but it does come out really well. Only a little bit in terms of mold lines. It might even be a little bit hard to see there on the top, but there is a little bit of one to scrape off, which I do actually have a knife available, so I'm able to do that as needed. But you can easily do that, round it out. As you see, only a little bit of flash, not really so bad. Can easily remove all of that. Take a look at all these other pieces they gave us here. This is all of the wind or almost a hair look. Okay. Again, a little bit of flash, but even that, the flash actually comes off pretty easy. You can just scrape it a little bit. Comes off nice and clean. Better than some of the old GW ones I used to get, where I have some models where they're essentially held together by glue and then another layer of an all to essentially thicken out because the resin zones just don't meet well. Where for this one, I find that they always do. Let's take a look at some of these foxes, then we'll take a look at how we're actually supposed to put this bad boy together. Or lady, I guess technically. Spirit, however you want to put it. All right, let me grab one of these. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of me wanting this model was for things like this. Like, look at this. Absolutely great looking. That particular one looks like it might be the one down there. I'm not sure. Obviously with these, gonna have to paint them separate. So I'll take it off this little back piece and I will paint it separate. You're gonna have to. I'm hoping, assembly-wise, can put her entirely together. Again, some mold lines, but it looks like it's just all on the edge of him. Looks like he'll clean up just fine. Which if we just do a little bit of scraping, we do see that it cleans up pretty easily. Yeah, it looks pretty good there. Obviously, we can do a little bit more on him. I didn't quite finish it, but I'm not going to sit here on camera and do that part. So he's got a little bit along his edges. Take a look at some of these other little foxes. Yeah, there's the one down there that, to me, I don't know, he just kind of looks like he's using the bathroom personally. But very small, delicate pieces. You can even see where it's little, you know, its ears and its little, there's probably a name for a little bit of tufts of fur that stick out. I just personally don't know it. But even those molded, honestly, perfectly. Very tiny little legs. So, but we have all different little pieces. Looks like everything came out really, really nice. Quite a few pieces. Actually, the most for any of the resin kits, honestly, that I've done. Even, I mean, Fall Divinity maybe was technically more, but. So, if we take a look at what we're actually supposed to do. Okay, so head arms, so it looks like we can put her probably fully together, at least to this step. Put all this together, goes behind her. Probably going to assemble these, leave them separate, assemble her, and then do the foxes individually. And we notice that the foxes end up just sitting in their little spots. By look of it, fill out the base pretty strong, obviously. Looks like at least 3 of the foxes are separate. Some of them are on it. Still don't think I necessarily want to paint them while they're on it. I probably still want to do it separate just to make sure I can get a really good job on this particular model. But I do think that's the overall plan of what I want to do. All right, cutting into the video very quickly because I sat down for, I don't know, 20 plus minutes or so and actually assembled her. So I just want to be able to show her off assembled. I will say this was a rather finicky model to actually work on. I also assembled the back piece. That was actually pretty easy. But for this one, so the little hair connections are separate. The arm here, this is a separate arm that leads into the scroll and all of that. Each one of these pieces where essentially the armor plates are all separate. I essentially was using like a pair of tweezers almost to hold some of it. It does go together very well. I still have to wash it. I'm washing it after it's together because with all those little bits, that was getting actually kind of tough to do. But this is her now assembled. The back piece has a nice little connection point, goes out pretty far, and it fits reasonably flush along the bottom. So I'm going to be painting her, that, and all those little foxes separately. Now, we're waiting until next month till we can see the rest of this stuff. We get the, some more characters. We also then get our Oni, our Kami, Tengu, and then in April, we get quite a bit more, and by either June or July, I forget the timing, we should have almost the rest of the range, including the monsters. So, very excited about this. I will be posting once it's actually put together, as well as, since I'm going to be doing stages, probably more of when I actually have it painted up, and that's going to take a little bit of time to do, because I do want to spend some time on this. Probably about next week, I think it'll be on the painting table. I'm going to try to get done my Trench Crusade this week, and then I have a whole bunch of random Sorcerer King things all around that you can't quite see here. I still have the favorite Hormus that I'm putting together. I have my various Trench Crusade bits. I have my Janissaries here, so a good amount of it I have painted, but I still have more unpainted, so that way I can have enough for a large list. But all that's currently being worked on, but excited to get to work on this model. Figured I want to be able to show it off. And like I said, shortly, hopefully not too long from now, you'll be able to see it out on the battlefield. All right, well, on behalf of everyone here then at the show, little spots for some of these foxes to stand in. Well, on behalf of everyone at the show, how's a good hobbying? It's a great gaming.